Wait a second. This isn't my Nintendo Switch. Let's talk about that. Hello and welcome to Modern Broadcast. Now let's talk about some handheld gaming. GPD, Gamepad Digital, is a gaming hardware company located in China just outside of Hong Kong. Founded in 2013, they make premium mini laptops and handheld computer devices. Some of their popular devices include the GPD XD Plus or the Win Max, but today we're going to be talking about the GPD Win 3. Let's do a rundown of the GPD Win 3. The Win 3 runs Windows 10 by default and has an Intel Gen 11 Tiger Lake i7 1195 G7 quad-core CPU processor at 1.5 GHz and 16 GB of DDR4 RAM. It also has a 1TB M.2 SSD. The screen is a 5.5-inch touchscreen display with a resolution of 1280 by 720. It also has a 3950 mAh battery. Lastly, the device also has a microSD card slot expandable up to 1 TB. Much like our retro flag GPI Case 2, this device also comes with a dock that exports to the big screen. But we'll talk about that more in a second. Taking a look at the front of the device, we see that there's dual analog sticks that also click in, giving you R3 and L3 buttons. The ABXY buttons, along with the D-pad, are very PlayStation Vita-esque. They're tactile and very clicky. Below the D-pad, we have our select and start buttons, and under the ABXY buttons, we have a fingerprint sensor and a Function X key used as the Xbox button on the Xbox controller. In the middle, we have our enormous 5.5-inch touchscreen display. Sliding the display upwards reveals our hidden keyboard, which honestly isn't that great. Moving to the top of the device, we see here we have our L1, L2, R1, R2 buttons. The L1 and R1 are again that tactile feel, while the L2 and R2 are analog. To the left is our power button and volume up and down. In the center we have our 3.5mm headphone jack and a USB 3.0 port. Lastly, there's an output heatsink located near the rear. There isn't much on the side of the device, but here on the left you have your micro SD card slot, which again, you can expand up to 1 TB. Also, you have your toggle switch to utilize the device as a mouse or as a controller. On the bottom of the device, in the center, we have our USB Type-C charge port, where our dock will also connect, but more on that in a moment. In the corners, we have 2 stereo speakers. Lastly, the rear of the device has 2 function keys that are programmable. By default, one registers as Control-Alt-Delete, while the other is programmed for Escape. These buttons are textured, and I often find in my gameplay that I accidentally push them. In the center, we have a fan intake that helps keep the device cool. Now let's talk about that dock. The Win 3 is kind of like the Windows Nintendo Switch. At any point, you can put your system on the dock and continue playing your games on the TV after pairing a Bluetooth controller. The dock outputs via HDMI. It also has 3 additional USB 3.0 ports for accessories and an Ethernet port for handling your internet connection. Booting up the device runs just like any other Windows 10 machine. So let's go ahead and get right into some gameplay. I'll test some PC games at first and then move over some emulation devices. We're going to skip lower end systems, as this will have no problem playing things like Nintendo, PlayStation 1, Dreamcast, etc. So here we are playing Rainbow Billy and Curse of the Leviathan on Steam. This game really reminds me of Paper Mario and Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, and kind of Pokemon almost, with capturing these creatures after you befriend them. So definitely worth checking out if you haven't already played this game. I backed it when it was on Kickstarter. Just definitely a really cute kind of style game. So moving on to something a little bit harder. Here we are playing some BioMutant. I actually have not played this game. This is the very first time that I've booted up the game. So I kind of just did the intro part here of testing it out on the system, but the Win 3 can actually handle this, which is quite surprising as we're just on a handheld playing a game that has some pretty good graphics. I do apologize about the audio quality. I had my microphone on my camcorder, but I didn't realize that the battery was dead. So we're just capturing straight audio with the camcorder, and it turned way down. So I do apologize about that. I gotta say that here we are fighting this guy, and there's no lag whatsoever. No slowdown. I mean, the CPU fan is running really high, but the Win 3 is making this game playable. I accidentally pushed that Control-Alt-Delete button again. I constantly do that, and when I did it this time, it actually broke the game. I can't get back into it. So yeah, just something to kind of be mindful of. You compare a Bluetooth controller to the device just like you would on any Windows computer. So here I'm going to be pairing up my Xbox One controller. Here we are connecting. And there we go. So here we are now in docked mode, just picking up where we left off with BioMutant here. Now that it's docked, I can't accidentally push the Control-Alt-Delete button. Just trying to kind of run through this a little bit to get back to that tutorial kind of boss fight there. Oh, that didn't work.
Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story.
Another great thing that the Win 3 is good for is for pairing up with Launchbox, so that way you can play your retro collection in handheld mode, and then when ready, just dock it and play on the big screen. So let's go ahead and test out some Nintendo GameCube. We're going to boot up Animal Crossing here and give it a shot. I'm personally a big fan of Animal Crossing. I think I've played just about each of them except for maybe Wild World on the DS. What's your favorite Animal Crossing game? Let me know in the comments down below. So the Win 3 can definitely support more powerful systems than GameCube. That's just what I happen to have backed up at this moment. I've seen PlayStation 2 running on the Win 3, Wii U, and even Nintendo Switch games running on the Win 3 in other videos. Also, as far as PC standards go, BioMutant is a graphic-heavy game, but I've seen it run even like Cyberpunk 2077 was a big test at the time when this device came out. So definitely a powerful device and great for all sorts of gaming. Overall, the GPD Win 3 is a powerful device, no question there. However, with the steep price tag of $1,300 US, you might be better off waiting for the upcoming Steam Deck that's supposed to come in around $400. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on the GPD Win 3. Also, I've created a new Discord. I'll leave a link down in the description down below. If you liked this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. Take care.